Hi everyone, Tammy here, and I'm going to be making this butterfly card, and I wanted to just show you all the things that I'm going to be using before the video. This is flowers to layer die set and stamps that I'm going to be using, and this butterfly that I'm going to be using. And all of these are from the Stamps of Life, and I'm just going to be using that one flower and the flower stamp, but they have a lot of stuff on there that I use a lot. And then I'm going to be using this butterfly folded, and also, like I said, Stamps of Life. I'm also using these Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens for the watercoloring I'm going to be doing today. I love these. I use these quite often. And I'm going to be using this Canson watercolor paper. I really like this a lot. It's a good size and it's nice and thick. I also use this Strathmore mixed media paper quite often, but for today's video, I'm going to be using the Canson one, and mostly just because of the size and the thickness because I'm going to be embossing. I also use this Versamark ink and this Wow embossing powder, and I really like both of these. Okay, so I'm going to get some watercolor paper, and for what I'm doing, I really love this larger size too. It's nice and big because I'm going to be cutting some flowers and also that butterfly. So I'm just spraying it with some water a little bit and just wiping it off with my hand just to kind of smooth it into the paper. And then I'm just taking these watercolor brushes and just doing circles on the page in different areas so that they can kind of all blend together. And I'm using circles because it helps to not leave lines. Sometimes I do it where I'm just scribbling like back and forth, and once in a while you can kind of see the lines a little more. So I'm doing these circles to kind of help that. Not that I don't really care if you can see the lines on there, but the circles just look a little bit better in my opinion. So I'm just getting it on there, and putting that water on there just to me helps to kind of smooth it out a little. So now I'm going to put water on it, and I use a lot of water. That is how I feel you can kind of get it blended. You don't want it to stay like this, where you can just see big circles of color. You want it to blend together, and I feel like the only way you can do that is to put a lot of water on there. And I just take my heat tool and just dry it. It does take a little bit of time to dry, but it's not that bad. I mean, you're talking minutes. And also, you can take the heat tool and kind of move the water around so you can kind of get it to look how you want. Now, I do at the very end take a paper towel and kind of wipe off some of the edges, and if there's some just standing water. But for the most part, I do use the heat tool. Now I'm going to just take my Versamark ink and this flower stamp, and this is so cool that you can kind of pick where you want your flowers and what color, and so it was kind of nice to be able to do that. Now I'm saving room because I am going to do the butterfly on there too, so I had to be a little strategic. And here I've got my embossing powder, and that was just some that I had been doing previous. I was practicing, and so I'm just going to pour out some of my embossing powder on here. Now this technique will waste some of your embossing powder, because once I do this you really can't put it back into the containers, but it makes a really pretty effect because you get a little bit of each color on there, and I absolutely love doing this. Now, the reason why that kind of messed up there was because it was wet. And so if any of your paper is wet, the embossing powder will stick to it. So just make sure it's really dry. It was really no problem and no big deal at all. I just took a paintbrush and kind of got it off. And yeah, so it was no trouble. So here I am just embossing those, and they look really pretty on the watercolor paper, and then the embossing technique made it kind of colorful. So Here I'm just cutting them apart because when you take them through the die cut machine, I don't like to emboss more than, if it's embossed, I don't like to put more than one through. And so here I'm just placing my butterfly, and I think that looks really good. I love that. So I got all those cut out, and here I'm cutting out the inside of the butterfly, and this is just regular white cardstock. And I'm just going to take my Versamark ink, and I love using this because you don't have to use it just for stamps. You can actually just put it on the paper and really get all of it on there, and use a tweezers to just hold it, and then you can emboss it. And that's what I did. So I'm kind of using a little bit of the leftover, getting that pink on there so that I wouldn't have to maybe use pink. And then I just take the blue and the yellow and just kind of pour it on where I want. And this is so cool that you can just kind of make your own paper, kind of. And this actually ends up turning out so good. So I just get that on there and shake it around, and just, I'm kind of just really looking at it to make sure I have every area coated in powder. And so you can kind of see why you can't really get it back into the containers. So it is just kind of wasted, but it was beautiful and I felt like it was worth it. So there's all my pieces cut out, and I'm gonna decide what color of paper I want to put it on. In my head, when I started this, I just was thinking yellow would look great. I kind of test out white to see if maybe white would look good because there is a lot going on the paper. But I didn't feel like the white looked nearly as good as the yellow, so I end up cutting out the yellow. And in my dies, this isn't quite an A2 size, it's one down from the A2. So I'm going to have a little white border around when I put it on my card. So I'm just kind of situating it and deciding where I want to put things. And so here I'm just going to glue everything down. And you do really need a strong glue because that watercolor paper is really thick, and it was just kind of resisting wanting to be glued. So I'm just using my stamping blocks to hold it down, and it worked fine once I did that and got all the glue on there. But a strong glue would be really preferred. So I'm just trying to figure out what sentiment I want, and I'm going to do this thinking of you is what I was going to do. And then I thought I really wanted something that was die cut out. So I have this stamp set that has Fabulous on it. So I thought, oh, that would look really good on there. So I'm just kind of looking and thinking of where I would put it when cutting this out. And I was going to cut it out and emboss it. So I cut it out and test it, put it on here before I emboss, and trying to just see how I want it. And I can tell right away that I'm like, this just does not look very good. It's too intricate. And so I decide to just go ahead and emboss the thinking of you. So I'm just stamping it out, and I'm doing two because I'm going to try out two different colors to see which one I like. So I did yellow and I did blue, and I'm cutting out the yellow really close to try to kind of make it look like it's die cut out. But I really did not like this at all either. I didn't think the yellow looked good. It doesn't look good being cut out like that. So I went ahead and just cut out the blue, which I think the blue looked good. Like that color looked great. I still not sure if I love it being cut out like this. And so I am just kind of looking on there to see. I feel like that's kind of an empty space up there, so I decide to put those flowers, that one flower that was left up there, and I'm putting the sentiment down below. I go ahead and decide to do this, and I glue everything down. I'm still just only, not 100% sure if I love this sentiment down there, but I think the card is so pretty. I think it's beautiful, and I think anybody would be so, so happy to get this card. I don't think they're going to be thinking anything about the sentiment. So I got all that put onto the card base, and here it is done. And I also did another butterfly with some different colors that I thought I would show you that one too. Just put in a little clip here. So that's going to be next. It's got different colors on it. I did a very pale background. Those are watercolors, but they're just very light colors. I did pastels. And I used teal paper to cut this out, and then I embossed it with some colors on top. So I just thought I would show you a different idea if you didn't like the bright pinks and bright colors. But anyway, if you could subscribe to my channel and like this video, I would so appreciate it. And I am so happy you watched my video. I love making them. And keep coming back this week. I'll have another video for you. Thanks.